You ever hear one of those stories where reality ends up being stranger than fiction? Like something that seems completely bonkers and yet it's real? I've got one for you guys right here. Check this out. So, this is a Steam game called Boredom. I assume that's what it's called. I don't know how to pronounce boredom, but I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. Atomic fighting game. Let's watch the clip here. And then we're going to talk about something that's very interesting about this particular Steam game. Okay. So obviously this is a very amateur looking game in terms of visual styles and whatnot. From what I understand, it's supposed to be like a mixture of like a puzzle and a shmup or something like that. At least that's kind of the idea that I'm seeing here. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what's even is going on. But this game apparently does have like split screen multiplayer because you have one person playing as the Proton and I guess one person playing an Electron. I don't know. And then they're talking about the different stuff in the game or whatever. This is obviously very amateurishly put together, as a lot of indie games are on Steam, if we're honest. But here's what's actually very interesting about this. Read what it says here for the developer and the publisher, which I'm actually going to bring this up in a browser. It might make it easier to see for you because then I can just zoom it in here. So let's do that. And we're just going to scroll down. You guys can see what I'm talking about here. As long as I don't scroll out of the way of the thing here. Oh, I guess I got to scroll over to the right because maybe I zoomed in a little too much. Okay, let's see here. Developer and publisher, Cole Allen. If you've been following the news over the last couple of days, this is certainly a name you have heard. Very recently, very recently, as in probably Saturday evening, maybe Sunday morning, possibly, you would have likely heard this name. And the reason you would have heard this name is because there was a attempt to assassinate President Trump. Obviously, it was not successful. Is from what I understand, they didn't even get in the same room. But that's what's really crazy about this story here. And there's this article here from PC Gamer, which I just pulled that up from MSN, and it talks about how they had pulled the game from sale on Steam, which I don't think the game was actually for sale to begin with. I think it might have been a free-to-play game because somebody did make a comment about it. I don't know. We'll go into the comments, some of the user reviews that this particular game has had. But Steam has, nonetheless, pulled the game from being downloaded at all going forward, probably because of the controversies. Obviously, they don't want to be associated with anything like this, this attempt at political violence. But talk about a completely wild story here. Let's go ahead and look at some of these user reviews, which if you were to look at it, if you have like the default settings on Steam, you can't see user reviews that are considered off topic or something like that. You have to actually enable a filter, which I've already done so. And you can read some of the comments. Some of them are actually talking about the game itself, like from Pull Up J. They might have just been randomly recommended this game because of the algorithm and decided to check it out. But there are a lot of people that reference the actual comments here. Like this person saying, when I'm in the weirdest way to get publicity for my game competition and my opponent is this developer. Yes, indeed. I guess if somebody wanted to really get some notoriety, they would do like this alleged person had attempted to do. we're going to go ahead and see if we can find some more comments right here. This game is just like his life, worthless and a complete failure. Okay. So we got that. This is the type of game you'd see as a kid playing in the background. Those detective shows where they're trying to investigate who shot the president. Talk about completely ridiculous, right? Yeah. Oh, and this person's comment is very clever. Decided to pull the trigger and give this game a shot. Not the most competent shooter. It feels rushed and the strategic elements are poorly planned out. With a bit more time and thought, I think the lone developer may have achieved their aims. It was a good attempt, but better luck next time. I look forward to this developer's next project whenever that appears, probably in about 25 years to life. Yeah, pretty accurate if things have happened exactly as they say they have. There are a lot of conspiracies out there going on about this being like a psyop or, something like that. I mean, who really knows, right? We only know what we can know in the current moment. But this is absolutely just a mind-blowing story. This game is as much of a failure as Cole Allen is an assassin. But seriously, I mean, I get a crack out of some of these user reviews and just the absurdity of this, but I don't get a crack at this kind of crazy political violence and all this rhetoric and all this anger and animosity that's been going on. Like, that's not something I like, even in the slightest. I mean, who knows? Like, I mean, this would have still been a story regardless of how far this would have gone, if things turned out differently. Who knows? Who can even really predict how that would have turned out? But I just wanted to share this story with you guys. And, like I said, sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. And this is certainly one of those times for sure. I mean, this is not something that I think I would have ever even remember catching a whiff of in any kind of dystopian sci-fi novel or anything like that. And yet here it is, but I guess that just goes to show that game dev, it's all walks of life, all types of people. Video games are something that just about everybody can get on board, including potential political assassins. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did happen to enjoy this video, be sure to check out the most recent video that I've done right above my head there. And in the other corner, you're going to see something from the algorithm that's going to hopefully be fire for you. And don't forget, of course, on the bottom there to subscribe. But that's going to be the last line.